stop. Before you try another diet, another workout plan, or another supplement, you need to hear this. Because if you are over 45 and struggling to lose weight, the problem is almost certainly not your willpower, your discipline, or how hard you are working. The real reason your body is holding on to weight after 45 is something most doctors never tell you about. And once you understand it, everything changes. Stay with me, because what I am about to share could genuinely transform your health. Welcome to Dr. Medora Health, where we break down complex health science into clear, practical information you can actually use. Today, we are tackling one of the most frustrating health challenges people face as they get older. The feeling that no matter what you do, the weight just will not budge. Maybe you are eating the same way you always did. Maybe you are even eating less. Maybe you are exercising regularly. And yet the scale barely moves, or worse, it keeps creeping up. You are not imagining it. Your body is genuinely different now than it was at 30 or 35, and it has nothing to do with being lazy or lacking self-control. There are very specific biological changes happening inside your body after age 45 that are working directly against your weight loss efforts. And here is the thing. Most of the conventional weight loss advice out there was designed for younger bodies. It does not account for what happens to your hormones, your metabolism, your gut, your sleep, and your stress response as you move into your mid-40s and beyond. Today, we are going to go through each of these changes one by one. We are going to explain exactly what is happening inside your body, why it makes weight loss harder, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. By the end of this video, you will have a completely new understanding of your body and a clear set of strategies to start working with it instead of against it. So let us get into it. Part 1. The hormone shift nobody talks about. Here is the first thing you need to understand. After age 45, your hormones undergo some of the most dramatic changes they have experienced since puberty. And those hormonal shifts have a direct and powerful effect on how your body stores and burns fat. For women, perimenopause and menopause bring a significant decline in estrogen. Now, most people think of estrogen purely as a reproductive hormone, but estrogen actually plays a major role in how your body manages fat. When estrogen levels drop, your body tends to shift fat storage from the hips and thighs to the belly. That is why so many women in their late 40s and 50s notice a sudden change in where they are carrying weight, even if the number on the scale has not changed much. Belly fat is not just a cosmetic issue either. It is metabolically active fat that increases inflammation and raises the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. For men, testosterone levels begin a slow but steady decline after about age 30, and by the mid-40s, the drop becomes much more noticeable. Testosterone is critical for building and maintaining muscle mass, and muscle burns far more calories than fat does, even at rest. Lower testosterone means less muscle, which means a slower metabolism, which means your body needs fewer calories to function. Eat the same amount you always did, and suddenly you are in a surplus you never had before. And here is something that affects both men and women equally. Thyroid function often slows down after 45. Your thyroid is essentially the master regulator of your metabolism. When it slows down even slightly, your body burns calories more slowly, your energy drops, and weight loss becomes much harder. Many people over 45 have subclinical thyroid dysfunction, meaning their levels are technically within the normal range but functioning at the low end, and they are never told this could be affecting their weight. What can you do about this? First, get your hormones tested. Ask your doctor for a full thyroid panel, not just TSH. Ask about estrogen and testosterone levels. Knowledge is power here. Second, there are lifestyle strategies that support hormonal balance, including resistance training to support testosterone, reducing alcohol to support estrogen metabolism, and eating enough dietary fat, because hormones are made from fat. Eliminating fat from your diet is one of the worst things you can do for your hormone health after 45. Now, hormones are just the beginning. Because there is another reason your metabolism slows down after 45 that is even more fixable than you might think. And it has everything to do with something you are probably not doing enough of. Let me explain. Part 2, the muscle loss problem. Here is a fact that surprises most people. Starting as early as your 30s, your body begins to lose muscle mass at a rate of roughly 3 to 5% per decade. By the time you reach your 50s and 60s, that loss accelerates unless you actively work to prevent it. This process has a name, sarcopenia, and it is one of the primary drivers of weight gain in midlife and beyond. Think of your muscle tissue as a calorie-burning engine. The more muscle you have, the faster that engine runs, even when you are sitting still, even while you sleep. When you lose muscle, that engine shrinks. Your resting metabolic rate, the number of calories your body burns just to keep you alive, drops significantly. Some research suggests that resting metabolism can decline by as much as 2 to 3% per decade. Now here is where most people go wrong. When they want to lose weight, they cut calories and do more cardio. And while cardio has real benefits for heart health, it does almost nothing to build or preserve muscle. In fact, if you cut too many calories and do only cardio, you risk losing even more muscle, which makes your metabolism even slower, which makes weight loss even harder over time. It is a cycle that traps millions of people. The single most effective thing you can do to fight age-related muscle loss is resistance training. Lifting weights, using resistance bands, doing bodyweight exercises, these activities send a powerful signal to your body to maintain and build muscle tissue. And the research on this is clear and consistent. People who engage in regular resistance training in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond maintain faster metabolisms, better body composition, and significantly lower risk of chronic disease. You do not need to become a bodybuilder. 2 to 3 sessions per week of resistance training that challenges your major muscle groups is enough to make a real difference. And pair that with adequate protein intake, because protein is the building block of muscle. Most adults over 45 are not eating enough protein. Aim for at least 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, spread across your meals throughout the day. So we have covered hormones and muscle. But here is where things get really interesting, because there is a hidden factor inside your gut that most people have never even considered. And it could be the reason even healthy eating is not working for you the way it used to. This one genuinely surprised me when I first looked at the research. Part 3. Your gut microbiome has changed. Deep inside your digestive system lives a complex community of trillions of bacteria, viruses, and other microorganisms. This community is called the gut microbiome, and over the past decade, scientists have discovered that it plays a profound role in everything from immune function to mood to, you guessed it, body weight and metabolism. Here is the critical thing to understand. Your gut microbiome changes significantly as you age. The diversity of beneficial bacteria tends to decline, while certain less beneficial bacterial strains can become more dominant. These shifts affect how your body extracts calories from food, how it regulates blood sugar, how it manages inflammation, and how your hunger hormones function. 2 hormones you need to know about are ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is the hormone that makes you feel hungry. Leptin is the hormone that tells your brain you are full and satisfied. After 45, many people develop a degree of leptin resistance, meaning their brain stops receiving leptin's signal correctly. So even when you have had enough to eat, your brain does not get the message. You feel hungry even when you are not. This is not a willpower issue. It is a hormonal signaling problem, and the gut microbiome is deeply involved in regulating it. What disrupts the gut microbiome? Stress, poor sleep, antibiotics, a diet high in processed foods and low in fiber. All things that tend to increase as life gets more complicated in midlife. What helps restore it? Fiber is the single most powerful dietary intervention for gut health. Most adults eat only about 15 grams of fiber per day. The recommendation is closer to 25 to 38 grams. Vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and fruit are all excellent sources. Fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and kombucha introduce beneficial bacteria directly. And reducing ultra-processed foods removes the substances that feed harmful bacteria and drive inflammation. A healthier gut microbiome does not just improve digestion. It improves your metabolic flexibility, helps regulate your hunger signals, reduces systemic inflammation, and supports the kind of stable blood sugar that makes fat burning much more efficient. Now we need to talk about something that almost every weight loss plan ignores completely. Something that happens at night. And if you are over 45 and you are not sleeping well, this could be the most important piece of information in this entire video. Part 4. Sleep is a weight loss tool. Sleep is not just rest. During deep sleep, your body performs critical repair and regulatory functions that directly affect your metabolism, your hormones, and your body composition. And after 45, sleep quality tends to decline significantly for many people. Here is what happens when you do not get enough quality sleep. Your body produces more cortisol, the primary stress hormone. Elevated cortisol signals your body to store fat, particularly in the abdominal area. Your ghrelin levels rise, making you hungrier. Your leptin levels fall, making it harder to feel full. Your insulin sensitivity decreases, meaning your body has a harder time managing blood sugar. And your body produces less growth hormone, which is essential for fat metabolism and muscle repair. In short, poor sleep makes you hungrier, makes it easier to store fat, makes it harder to build muscle, and slows your metabolism. It is one of the most underestimated drivers of weight gain in midlife. The research on this is striking. Studies have shown that people who sleep fewer than 6 hours per night consistently have higher body mass indexes and greater waist circumference than those who sleep 7 to 9 hours, even when calorie intake is controlled. So what disrupts sleep after 45? Hormonal changes are a major factor, particularly in women going through perimenopause, who often experience hot flashes and night sweats that fragment sleep. Increased stress and anxiety. Increased use of devices and screens in the evening. Sleep apnea, which becomes more common with age and weight changes. What can you do? Prioritize sleep with the same seriousness you give your diet and exercise. Keep a consistent sleep schedule even on weekends. Create a cool, dark sleep environment. Avoid screens for at least an hour before bed. Limit alcohol, which many people use to relax but which significantly disrupts sleep architecture and reduces time in restorative deep sleep. If you suspect sleep apnea, get evaluated, because treating it can be genuinely transformative for weight, energy, and overall health. We have covered hormones, muscle loss, gut health, and sleep. But there is one more factor that ties all of these together, and it might be the most overlooked piece of the weight loss puzzle after 45. It involves something that is happening in your cells, and it explains why the same stress that was manageable at 35 is now literally making you gain weight. Let us get into it. Part 5. Chronic stress and cortisol, the weight gain hormone. Let us talk about cortisol more deeply, because this hormone deserves its own section. Cortisol is your body's primary stress response hormone. In short bursts, it is essential. It helps you respond to danger, get through a tough deadline, or deal with a crisis. But when cortisol stays elevated chronically, which is exactly what happens during ongoing life stress, it becomes one of the most powerful fat storage signals your body can receive. Cortisol does several things that directly promote weight gain. It increases appetite, particularly for high-calorie, high-carbohydrate foods. It promotes fat storage in the abdominal area. It breaks down muscle tissue to use for energy. It raises blood sugar, which leads to higher insulin levels, which further promotes fat storage. And it impairs sleep, which, as we just discussed, sets off its own cascade of metabolic disruption. Now here is why this is especially relevant after 45. Life stress tends to peak in midlife. Career demands, aging parents, financial pressures, relationship changes, and often managing your own emerging health concerns, all of these converge at once. At the same time, your body's resilience to stress decreases. Your cortisol recovery is slower. What would have been a manageable acute stressor at 30 becomes a source of chronic cortisol elevation at 45. The connection between psychological stress and physical weight is not just anecdotal. It is deeply rooted in physiology. And yet most weight loss programs spend zero time on stress management. What actually helps lower cortisol? Regular physical movement, especially walking in nature, which has been shown in research to measurably reduce cortisol levels. Deep breathing and mindfulness practices. Social connection and laughter. Setting boundaries around work and screen time. Creative activities that engage you without performance pressure. And consistent sleep, which both lowers cortisol and is disrupted by it, making sleep the linchpin of the entire system. So now you understand the 5 major biological reasons why weight loss becomes harder after 45. But understanding is only half the battle. Let me now give you a clear, practical roadmap for what to actually do about it. Because the solution is simpler than you might expect. It is just different from what most people try. Part 6. What actually works after 45. Let us bring everything together with a practical, evidence-based approach designed specifically for bodies over 45. The first pillar is resistance training. If you do nothing else, do this. Aim for 2 to 3 sessions per week working your major muscle groups. This does not have to mean going to a gym. Bodyweight squats, push-ups, resistance band rows, lunges, planks, these are all highly effective. Building and preserving muscle is the single most powerful lever you have for keeping your metabolism strong as you age. The second pillar is protein. Make it a priority at every meal. Eggs, fish, poultry, lean meats, Greek yogurt, legumes, tofu, these are all excellent sources. Adequate protein supports muscle maintenance, keeps you feeling full longer, and has a higher thermic effect than carbohydrates or fat, meaning your body burns more calories just digesting it. The third pillar is blood sugar management. After 45, insulin sensitivity tends to decline, making blood sugar swings more impactful. The way to manage this is to prioritize whole foods over processed ones, include fiber with every meal, avoid eating large amounts of refined carbohydrates alone, and consider the timing of your meals. Many people over 45 find that eating within a consistent window, for example, keeping meals between 8 in the morning and 6 in the evening, helps regulate their insulin and appetite hormones significantly. The fourth pillar is sleep optimization. We covered this in depth, but it cannot be overstated. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is not a luxury. It is a biological necessity for fat metabolism, hormone regulation, and metabolic health. The fifth pillar is stress management as medical intervention, not as an afterthought. Build genuine, non-negotiable stress recovery into your daily life. A 20-minute walk, 10 minutes of deep breathing, time with people who energize you, activities that bring genuine joy. These are not indulgences. They are physiologically essential tools for lowering cortisol and supporting fat metabolism. The sixth pillar is gut health. Eat more plants, more fiber, more variety. Reduce ultra-processed food. Add fermented foods. Consider that every meal is either feeding beneficial bacteria or harmful ones. Small, consistent changes add up to a meaningfully different gut microbiome over weeks and months. And the seventh pillar is working with your healthcare provider. Get your hormones tested. Know your thyroid numbers. Discuss your sleep. Be honest about your stress. A proactive, informed conversation with your doctor opens doors to support that many people never access. Let me give you a clear summary of everything we covered today. After 45, your body changes in several significant, biologically specific ways that make weight loss harder. First, hormone shifts, declining estrogen, testosterone, and sometimes thyroid function, alter where and how your body stores fat, and how fast your metabolism runs. Second, muscle loss or sarcopenia shrinks your calorie-burning engine. Resistance training and adequate protein are the most powerful countermeasures. Third, your gut microbiome shifts in ways that affect your hunger hormones, blood sugar regulation, and inflammation. Fiber and fermented foods are your allies. Fourth, sleep quality declines after 45, and poor sleep directly drives fat storage, increases hunger, and disrupts hormones. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is non-negotiable. Fifth, chronic stress elevates cortisol, which promotes abdominal fat storage, increases appetite, and breaks down muscle. Stress management is metabolic medicine, not a luxury. The solution is not to eat less and move more, the oversimplified advice that fails so many people over 45. The solution is to eat smarter, move strategically, sleep consistently, manage stress seriously, and support your gut. Work with your biology instead of against it. If this video gave you a new way of thinking about your body and your health, I want to encourage you to share it with someone you care about who is going through the same frustration. So many people are struggling in silence, blaming themselves for something that is actually a completely understandable biological process. They deserve to know this information too. If you found this helpful, a like on this video helps more people find it, and subscribing to Dr. Medora Health means you will never miss a new video when we release one. And I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me, which of these 5 factors resonates most with your own experience? Is it the hormones? The sleep? The stress? I read every comment and I genuinely want to know what is most relevant to your life. Your health after 45 is not a lost cause. It is an invitation to understand your body at a deeper level than ever before. And with the right knowledge, the right strategies, and the right support, thriving in midlife is absolutely possible. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.